go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call to order. I need roll call.
Mr. Carlos?
Here.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes, here.
Mr. Condit?
Here.
Mr. Molina,
Here.
Mr. Silverston?
Here.
Mr. Walter?
Here.
Yeah, they turned it down. It's ambiance for the holidays.
Bye, Joe. Have a good Christmas. Thank you.
Approval minutes, November 25th. Move to approve. Second. Roll call.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. Carlos?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes. Acceptance of financial reports. Move to accept reports.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Carlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Any amendments to the agenda?
We have resolution 93/2014, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into and execute an agreement for the purchase of real property located at 3665 Nautilus Trail, Reminderville, Ohio, for a sum not to exceed $19,000.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes. Any other amendments? Comments from the public? All right, ready?
Yep.
Ordinance 25/2014, an ordinance to increase the annual salary of the village fiscal officer to $47,586 effective January 4th, 2015. Move to suspend the rules and pass by emergency.
Second.
Roll call, suspension of rules.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. Walter? Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Move to pass by emergency.
Second.
Roll call. Oh, you need a second?
Yeah.
Second.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes. Ordinance 26/2014, an ordinance to increase the annual salary of village administrator, assistant clerk, and council to $38,500 effective January 4th, 2015.
Do we want Stacy cut the votes on this?
Taking the order.
Move to suspend the rules and pass by emergency.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Move to pass by emergency.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes. Ordinance 27/2014, an ordinance to increase the annual salary of village supervisor and public service to $26,574 effective January 4th.
Move to suspend the rules, pass by emergency.
Second. Roll call, suspension of rules.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes. Move to pass by emergency.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes. Ordinance 28/2014, an ordinance to increase the hourly rate of service department employees effective January 4th, 2015, declaring emergency.
Move to suspend the rules and pass by emergency.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Move to pass by emergency.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Ordinance 29/2014, an ordinance to amend the salary provision of the police department personnel effective January 4th, 2015, declaring emergency.
Move to suspend the rules and pass by emergency.
Second.
Roll call, suspension of rules.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Move to pass by emergency.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Ordinance 30/2014, an ordinance to amend the salary provision of the fire department personnel effective January 4th, 2015, declaring emergency.
Move to suspend the rules, pass by emergency. Second.
Roll call, suspension of rules.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes. Move to pass by emergency.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Ordinance 31/2014, an ordinance approving the editing and inclusion of certain ordinances as part of the various component codes of the codified ordinance of Reminderville, Ohio, declaring emergency.
Move to suspend the rules and pass by emergency. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Move to pass by emergency.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Ordinance 32/2014, an ordinance to make appropriation adjustments and transfers for the 2014 village budget.
Move to suspend the rules, pass by emergency. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman? Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes. Move to pass by emergency. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Ordinance 33/2014, an ordinance to adopt the appropriations of the funds for fiscal year ending December 31st, 2015, first reading.
Move to suspend the rules, pass by emergency. Second.
Do we have to on this one? Roll call.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Move to pass by emergency. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Resolution 84/2014, a resolution to accept the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the consolidation lot split and vacation plat for Harrington Place.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Resolution 85/2014, a resolution to accept the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the revised preliminary plan for Phase 7 of Harrington Place subdivision, third reading.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman? Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Resolution 86/2014, a resolution to accept the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the final plan and plat for Phase 7A of the Harrington Place subdivision, third reading.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman? Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Resolution 87/2014, a resolution to accept the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the preliminary plan submitted on behalf of Conrad's Tire, third reading.
Move to approve.
Second.
Question. Since they just had the, last night, the variance approved, what exactly is this? Don't they have to come, should this be tabled, or?
No, the planning commission approved it based on approval by board of zoning appeals or whatever, so they.
We gave them conditional, if they got it through the Board of Appeals.
Right, so they, yeah.
Resolution 91, a resolution.
Oh, we gotta vote on it.
Sorry.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Sobson.
Yes.
Resolution 91, 2014, a resolution to support and accept the recommendation of the Twinsburg Township Village and Reminderville JED Board in regards to the 2015 JED area projects, including the proposed division of funding therefore. First reading.
Move to suspend the rules, pass by emergency?
Second.
Roll call. Suspension of rules.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Sobson?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Move to pass by emergency?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Sobson?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
91, 2014, a resolution to support and accept the recommendation. Resolution 92, 2014, a resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement for the purchase of a 2015 Ford F-350 4x4 regular cab pickup truck and equipment for use in the service department from Valley Ford Truck Incorporated for a sum not to exceed $34,264.
Move to suspend the rules, pass by emergency?
Second.
And this is the truck that they're gonna use for senior snow plowing and some other things like that, because it's a smaller, it's a short bed, so everybody understands that. Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Sobson?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Move to pass by emergency?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Sobson?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Resolution 93, 2014, a resolution authorizing the director mayor into and execute an agreement for the purchase of real property located at 3665 Nautilus Trail, Reminderville, Ohio, for some not to exceed $19,000.
Move to suspend the rules and pass by emergency.
Second?
Roll call.
Mr. Sobson?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes. Move to pass by emergency.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Sobson?
Yes.
Is there any old business that needs to be discussed? Is there any new business that needs to be discussed?
I have one thing.
Go.
I want to thank Deborah and Stacy for putting all this together to be done with all of this at the first meeting in December. As far as I know, is unheard of in the village of Reminderville.
Not happened in my experience, that's for sure.
We had the support from all the department heads, police, fire, service, building department. Everything just came together. The legislation is done without Deborah and Stacy and all the department's heads and the mayor and last council. We did something that's never been done before. I just want to recognize that and thank everyone for their hard work.
Drink that Mario.
Drink some water. We'll go to votes.
I wish everybody Merry Christmas, because we're not gonna see it, probably.
And Paul for writing the legislation.
And
Good job.
move
Thank
to
you.
adjourn.
Second?
Roll call.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Sobson?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Thanks, Chad. Have you heard from the Bahama Mama?
Who?
Like it.
Oh, God, no.
He's
Very
working.
brief email, so.
No postcards?
I think it'll be back Thursday.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a quick trip.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
Surprise
meeting
everybody.
Saturday, just let me know.
Yeah,
I don't think you'd even notice he's on the stage right now. See you guys.
Wouldn't notice him, wouldn't care.
That's what,
Mayor, thanks for everything.
So
Right, make sure you
I'll
try,
probably see you, you're gonna come up.
try that stuff on for Saturday, so you have to fix something.
Must have given us our-